Good morning, everyone. This is David with Bolivar Live. Well, we're back in the office now. Came by here a little bit to check some things, and we've got some 45 mile an hour sustained winds with gusts of 53 right now. And we're going to take a look around Bolivar, and let's look at the radar first because I believe that Beryl has actually made landfall, or it looks like it to me. Part of the eye there, you can see it open up, and I'm glad it opened up where it did and not further out because it could have become a lot stronger. But we're just now starting to feel the effects of it here on Bolivar, and I have a feeling that as we get closer to sunrise, it's going to get worse for us. The later in the morning, and then once it gets inland, it'll taper off a little bit. But we did a feed. The Bolivar ferry is shut down right now. And I look for it to stay shut down probably until mid morning, late morning. It all depends on the tide. Between the wind and the tide, uh, and I'd like to know exactly what the pressure is because I ran some models earlier and it showed the pressure dropping just as it hit landfall and a little bit past it. And so I'm anxious to see what they say watch the landfall. You can see bags blowing around outside. We're actually shooting through the window. And so, but let's take a look at one of the sunrise beach cam. I've just noticed, I've been in the office now for about a half hour, 40 minutes setting up, and looking at the radar and getting some cameras pulled up. We've had so many people on the website that it actually had to reboot, I think, or something, because it's been slow. That and the number of people on it. And so anyway, we're checking into that, but I'm working off the back end of these cameras. This is the Sunrise Beach Cam, and I want to thank the neighbor that left the light on. And there's another camera that one of the neighbors left the light on, and so it helps us out being able to see because typically it's dark out and you can't see, but the tide's starting to come up now. And where it's at now, I imagine Highway 87 starting to get some wash on it. We're going to leave and go down there here as soon as we get done, start making our way down there. We are under a tornado watch until expires in 6 hours and 42 minutes. So about 9 o'clock, I think, is what I'd heard before. Oh, if we lose power, I've got my flashlight here. I just heard the battery backup kick, and so I want to get through this real quick, and then we'll have to move to my truck. But anyway, that's a look outside of the Bolivar Live studio, the tourism center. You can see the winds blowing. We've got 45 gusts to 53 right now, and that's come up a little bit. This is the saltwater gospel cam. And like I said, I want to thank the neighbor. But I was watching this cam earlier back and forth, and the tide has started to come up just over the last hour now. And I imagine where it's at now, we're starting to get some spray and probably a little bit of wash on Highway 87. And so we're going to keep that checked out. You know, we did a feed down at the ferry landing about 2 a.m. I think I might have put 3 a.m. on it from lack of sleep, but anyway, the tide's just now really starting to come up. In fact, right at sunset, I saw some people driving. There was enough room that you could drive down the beach. Saw a lot of people walking on the beach, which surprised me. And so, you know, with the tide coming up now, it's made landfall or starting to make landfall from what the radar, and let's look at the radar again. And that way you can see exactly what it looks like and what's coming our way. We're actually probably about right here. I think. Maybe up here a little bit. That's probably about where Bolivar is. And so maybe a little bit further this way. Probably right in here. Where that blue line is where Bolivar is. And so you can see we've got a lot coming. We really hadn't had that much rain up until probably the last 2 hours, 2.5 hours. During the day, we really didn't get that much. We've been watching and looking at a lot of the storm chasers down in Port Lavaca and all that. And I know it's bad. Excuse me, I need some coffee. But it could have been a lot worse, especially if it would have got up to a category 2 or category 3 in this position, and it's heading up towards Houston, and they could have some 70, 75 mile an hour winds at some point. And so the west side of Houston, and then all the way to downtown Houston. I was talking to a buddy in Katy, and they were getting ready to see, and I haven't looked at the latest update on what they're predicting for Houston and that, but this is going to take a curve to the right uh, once it gets inland there. And so, but you can see it looks like that eye's opening up, and it had an eye at as it's going on shore. So anyway, we've got 45 gusts to 53 last time I checked, and things aren't as bad as I thought they would be. This is a view from our Sunrise Beach Cam, and even since we've been on, it seems like that tide's coming up. You can see it down there in the light, getting closer to the dunes and that, and so we're going to have to keep that. Looks like there's a light out in the Gulf, or that may be the power line singeing there. See that power pole right in front? I don't know if that's a light. If it's a light, they're in trouble. Or it could be the power lines there. So we're going to have to check into that and look a little closer. I think it's the power lines sizzling there. There's a power pole there. You can't see the lines, but it's not moving anywhere. So it's not in the Gulf. I got worried there for a minute that someone was in trouble. So anyway, let's take a look at the Sunrise Beach Cam real quick too. There you can see, okay, the wash is starting to get up to the dunes a little bit there. And so just since we've been on here, that water's really started to, seems like, push up a little bit more, or have more oomph behind it to get it up to the dunes. That's the first wash all the way up there I've seen this evening. It actually went down from where it was this morning at high tide a little bit, and now it's starting to come back up. We're getting those winds are picking up. Like I said, I just checked and we were at 45, gusting to about 53 here. And I imagine it's going to go up. I was told we'd probably see some 60 mile an hour sustained winds. But yeah, I don't think the storm has grown as much as what a lot of people thought it was going to, which is good. I hate to see this on anyone. We went through Ike, and the Lord was above us, and we came back, and it's been great down here. But let's keep everyone down, Matagorda, Bay City, even up into Katy and Houston in our prayers tonight, because we've got a long road ahead of us as the night goes on. This is actually going to go up, turn to the right a little bit, and then go up into East Texas and exit out of Texas, give or take around Texarkana, I think. And that's sort of where it stayed. But we're going to keep going and keep looking around and see what's going on Bolivar. We'll probably wait a little bit to go down to Highway 87 because with it dark, I can tell you the way I'm seeing the tide here now that Highway 87 does have some wash on it and some debris probably. I know High Island Fire Department was taking turns making trips down to the curve, checking it, and along Highway 87, and so we'll probably pass them a little bit later on this morning. We're going to stay here and look at some radars, and we are under a tornado watch until about 9 a.m. In fact, let me pull the radar up, and you can see that's what that box was there. We're on in a tornado watch until 9 a.m. as of right now, and it may add in a little bit. I don't know. Let me get my cameras, make sure they stay connected. But anyway, just wanted to keep you updated on what's happening down here. We said we were going to be giving you live coverage, and we did take a break from about 9:30 or 9 o'clock to about, I think the alarm went off at 1 o'clock, and we got up and started watching things. The Bolivar, once again, the Bolivar ferry is shut down. And as of right now, I would say that Highway 87 has wash on it. And so please, you know, there's no need to be out in this. There's no need to leave. All emergency personnel are here. I talked to Doug Saunders earlier, and I'm gonna go back to the saltwater gospel cam so you can see it. You know, they've got crews here for emergencies. The sheriff are down here. I'd heard that we had, I believe, 8 sheriff, maybe 4 per a deal, a shift. But we've got sheriff over here, and we're gonna try and stay connected to you. We've got internet in the truck. Chris and Gabby are at home sleeping, hopefully. And so we're going to keep you posted on what's going on here. This is a look outside of Bolivar Live Studio. We've got the truck ready to head out, and you can see the wind blowing. We're in a corner here, and it seems like anything in the parking lot whips around in this corner. But at last check, we were at 45 gusts to 53, and I believe that's probably picked up a little bit, and it's going to pick up some more. We may see some, 55, 60 mile an hour sustained winds here, especially some gusts up to that as these feeder bands go through, and depending on how the training sets up. But I was watching one of the Beaumont stations earlier, a live feed they had, and actually once it gets in later on this afternoon, all this passes and it gets up into the lakes area of East Texas, we could see some skies clearing and no rain and back to normal down here. At last check, the big store does have gas, and they were planning on opening regular hours, and so keep their employees in your thoughts and prayers as they come in during could be some of the brunt of this here on Bolivar Peninsula. I know they always have hot coffee. Even when the power's out, the generators kick on and they have hot coffee. Hopefully they'll have some breakfast up there. If you're here, you can get some coffee and breakfast. Hopefully power's been doing good. There you can see the wash starting to come in, and hopefully it doesn't come in too much more. They were predicting 4 to 6 feet storm surge, which this is part of the 4 to 6 feet. And so don't think it's going to go 6 foot above that. Maybe another foot above that. But we're just going to have to wait and see. We're going to be monitoring 87, but I can see now, just while we've been on and a half hour before watching it, I can tell that tide's really coming up and pushing up. Now that wind's picked up. We've got an southeast wind, if I'm not mistaken. And so it's going to push that water into the shore and probably get it a little rougher. The Bolivar Ferry is shut down. And with what I'm seeing here, I know we've got some splash and some wash up on Highway 87 down towards High Island. So please stay at home. Don't get out. Let the sun get up and let's see what's going on everywhere. So, anyway, we're going to head on out. Hope you enjoyed the show. Stay connected. Remember, you can see us on all our Bolivar Live social media channels and on Bolivar Live TV on Roku and Amazon Fire. In fact, I have it up on my TV, just making sure the feed goes through here in the office. But we're going to switch it back to one of the news stations, see what's happening down the Texas coast. We're going to head on out. Hope you enjoyed the show. We'll be back real soon with more live coverage from Bolivar Peninsula and Hurricane Beryl. Until next time, I'm David with Bolivar Live. Y'all have a great day, great week. Come see us. God bless, and bye-bye.